It's all right if he does that? Okay, well, now let's set it. James, I see Sam. Suppose you would see Terry. Then what you gonna do? You gonna shake his hand? What you gonna do? Oh, you gonna tell me you? I bet you're gonna do that. Okay. Sammy, I see. Come on. James, you say, I see green. Look at me. Green, you say, I see ladies. Lady, you see, I see children. Are you children? No. No. Okay, let's see if you can take that hand now. And we'll take that right one and we'll do it like that. Is it sore? Yeah. Well, let's take the left one then. Well, let's take both. The left hands. You right there. Say, I'm taking my hand. Okay. Down. Okay. And I will. What will you do with them? Wait. You can do a lot with your words. Now tell me some of the things that you can do positively with your hands.
Make a bread.
Yes, you can do it. What else can you do? Drive. You can drive. Didn't we sing a little song yesterday about driving?
Yes.
What did we say we would drive?
Bus.
I can drive a bus. Slow. I can drive a bus. Roll. I can drive a bus. Slow. I can drive a bus. Slow. I can drive a bus. Slow. I'll tell you something else you can do with your. And what did we use? Marker. And that marker, put your name on this. Very good. This marker, put your name on your paper. Are you proud of that? Of course. Your hands can do something else. Yes, your hand can do something else. They smile, they seem to be happy. You just have to, provide the type of approaches that it takes to bring out of them what they already have. The number of national athletes that make their living with their feet. A vocabulary. They have vocabulary skills. Oh yes, I was convicted. When I was convicted. Miss Bob.
No.
Who were you looking for?
Always been fine. As long as I can beat up on people like you are, I'm gonna have it. So have a nice day today. President, for you see that thing my baby. All right, and just continue to pray for me because I'm going to keep on keeping on. All right. Yes, God. I'm doing fine. Doing fine. And together we'll make it. We can't lose out on this voting thing. It's going to take us high to God. Good. We'll get in and let's do it together. Together we can make it. Thank you. Thank you. My hat's off to Macon County. Hello, Suzanne.
Fine, how you?
I'm doing pretty good.
How you doing?
Aren't you the same one that said a little piece of That's good. And is it all right for me to hug him? How is it with you? Okay. All right. Everything's okay. We're going to do it because God is with us. Thank you.
No accusing on there.
All right. Thank you very much. Very much. But I've been with Mr. Alonzo. Our first stay here was that day. What's it called?
Do what she said.
I will be going back to sleep.
Okay, we are so happy you came here today. We hope you will like it. And coming up, we wave our hand. Throw you the kiss. You're welcome, you're welcome. And don't forget this. How about that? Okay.
I thought you don't want to get on that rug. Get the show. Huh? Run up there and get in it, Russ.
All right.
Of the National Board of Directors of SCLC and the chairman of the Congressional Black Caucus, Congressman Walter Fauntleroy, to my right, the distinguished mayor of the great city of Tuskegee, Alabama, and he'll entertain us tomorrow. Also, Reverend John, marquee or bulletin board outside, heaven will not help the person who will not act. Yes. We have come here today to ask heaven's help in our activities, for we are acting, we believe, on behalf of heaven, on behalf of justice, on behalf of liberty and equity. We've come today because our sisters are imprisoned. Even though they are out on work release, they are still in custody of law enforcement agency. They still do not have their citizenship rights, and they cannot come home to Pickens County where they belong. And until they are free to come home, we are not free to go home. We are free only to exercise the kind of witness that we shall begin today, no matter what the temperature may be on the outside. In our hearts, the temperature is red hot. I'm on the inside. And we're going to warm up Pickens County. And we're going to warm up Green County until the United States is warmed up. And we shall be free at last. They are turning the key that locks in Julia Wilder and Maggie Bozeman. For you and I know that if Julia Wilder and Maggie Bozeman were white women, they would be home in bed in Pickens County right now. And you and I'd be home in bed wherever we come from. Right now. All right. Christianity started with just one skill. The Lord tells us to ride. We ride till the Lord reinvigorates
black people. That plan calls upon black people across this nation to begin to care for, protect, support, and defend one another. And when our brother, the 18 highest elected black officials in the country, asked me to come and be with you as we launched this march, because while they do not know Maggie Bozeman and Julia Wilder, they are our sisters. And we across this nation, like millions of black people, now know them and love them and support them in the cause which they have represented. It is most appropriate that I be here representing those 18 black members of the Congress, because the Congress of the United States is at this very period considering the extension of the Voting Rights Act. And there is no more eloquent testimony to the need for the extension of that act than what is happening in Pickens County and what has happened to Maggie Bozeman and Julia Wilder. There's something wrong in this country when a county that is 42% black
as a black mayor to all the people in this community. There's Johnny Ford of Tuskegee.
They presently are comfortable, and I want you to know that. They are in a community whose love restored and all of our liberties restored. And so, blood ran down. He did not die in vain. And the message I send to black people, they must stand for that. A place of freedom and justice. So our sisters are at home.
Free, make Leon, want this car?
vote of thanks goes to Mayor Ford and this waiting congregation. I'm just happy that the Lord has blessed me to be here. And that's who I solely depends on, an everlasting arm who can do anything but fail. And I'm just so happy to be here tonight. I'm not a talker. I'm a doer of the word. I don't like to talk it. I like to do it. And I would like for the young crowd to just decide that they're going to wake up because they are the next persons that has to come out front. I didn't wake up in time. And I'm begging the young bunch to wake up. I was late waking up, but I'm awake forevermore. Till God said, well done. I mean that. Anything that I can do to help this cause to keep moving, I'm going to do it. As long as God has me with strength and health. And when I get to where I don't have no health and strength, because it costs money to get around and do things. If God blesses me with 2 or 3 quarters, I'm going to support the cause. You know, most people don't know what it costs to be out there because you ain't never been out there. But it costs some money to be out there. It costs some money to be out there. And I don't get much money, but I sacrifice and help to support the cause. I walk everywhere I have to go, never owned a car in my life. But God fixes it so that I get over Pickens County and get people registered. And there's some people in Pickens County really believe in me. I appreciate that. And it's simply because I've just been Julia ever since they known me. I don't try to be anybody else but just me. It becomes you to be you. And most of us, you know, we look at some other people and we decide we want to be them. But I'm not going to say much more because I believe in doing and not talking. Thank you.
It's Dr. Lowry coming a long way. Mrs. Bowles.
To express my appreciation to the elected officials of Macon County, and I shall continue to say to all other persons in Pickens County, we have many thanks to give to each one of you. We cannot get to you personally, but we will just say we thank all of you for being so receptive toward us. There are special people in this assembly. Bill Edwards, my director now, Mr. Kenny Brew, CLC is on the road, foot soldiers for the cause of Pickens County. A person called me Saturday morning from New York, a reporter, and asked, are you all in favor of SCLC? I said, lady, not 99.8%, but 180% favor of what they are doing for the cause, and you should be. Dr. Lowry, we want to say to you that we know that you are right because we were right. And we are so proud that people across this nation have focused in and cut in on the struggle and the cause for freedom. We are hoping that because of what we are doing, and we are talking about the foot soldiers, the publicists and what have you, will bring about the extension of the Voting Rights Act. People in Macon County, join us. The fight is a fight for all of us, not for Pickens County, but for this nation and this country. To exercise your rights, your constitutional rights, to become involved in the political process, now is the time. Whatever you can do, do it. Don't back up to God. He promised to take care of us. walk up to him boldly, and what he has done for us, he will do it for you. Thank you.
Organization, even as king, was making life better for millions of people throughout this nation and the world.
We are a people who share that dream, and it's been almost 19 years since Martin Luther King delivered his famous "I Have a Dream" speech beneath the shadow of the Lincoln Memorial. Our sacred months to us, the Emancipation Proclamation is celebrated on the first, and we celebrate Martin's birthday, February, Black History Month. When you hold the fast and work the hard and fight a good fight more diligently today, that the hope of fulfillment of dreams grows dimmer with the passing years of millions of people. And you and I must keep the spark alive. We must keep the dream. We shall not turn back. We shall not be turned back. That's why we're marching. You want to know where the young men are? Go to prison. I was at the Atlanta Penitentiary the other day. Dozens, hundreds of young men quench the thirst for liberty, try to snuff out the dream. You and I must hold fast to dream. I'll be in this conversation talking about marching in the wintertime.
We had one of those wheat germ lovers, one of those 10-mile joggers, one of those health nuts. In fact, we had two of them, Walt Fauntleroy, who knows karate, and Johnny, because we have seen new hope. We've seen determination in the eyes and hearts of those persons who have felt that they were alone and that nobody cared. And so I say we must hold fast to our dreams for political equity. The Voting Rights Act must be saved. A strong Voting Rights Act must be passed. And each of us must communicate with our senators to say to them that they ought to support S. 1992, wipe out the intent clause, history of family. The reason they say that is because they couldn't understand our culture, and therefore they thought it was inferior. We have a strong... What we must worry about is who shot Justice, who shot full employment, who locked up Julia and Maggie. That's where our priorities are. To dream.
One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're doing.
Time is winding up. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Oh, march me up freedom lane. Ain't gonna let no jailhouse turn me around. Turn me around. Ain't gonna let no. People take a stand. Time is winding up. What y'all come and watch us stop? Come join us and stop watching. Now we fired up! Fired up! Fired up! Fired up! Fired up! I can't take it no more.
Take it no more.
Ain't gonna take no more. Ain't gonna take no more. Ain't gonna take no more. Ain't gonna take no more. Ain't gonna take no more. Ain't gonna take no more. I'm fired up. Fired up. Fired up. Reagan, he's no good.
Just 5 or 12.
Ball up! Ball up!
There's some more on the side of the road. Come in,
Hey! Lord, come by here. Why don't you come by here, my Lord? Come by here. Come by here, my Lord. Come by here. Come by here, my Lord. Come by here. Oh, Lord, come by here.
Somebody's praying, Lord, come by here.
Somebody's praying, Lord, come by here. Somebody here, my Lord, come by here.
Who knows where it's from? Right here. That's good right here. That's good right there. That's good, Dr. Lyle.
Come by here. Somebody's praying, Lord, come by here. Oh, Lord, come by here.
17 years ago, a brave and gallant woman dared break the tradition and break the chains of segregation and discrimination. She defied those who said that white people ought not get involved.
Yes.
For she knew that injustice anywhere was a threat to justice everywhere.
Man.
And this brave and gallant woman came back and forth between Selma and Montgomery, bringing witnesses to truth.
Yes, sir.
And out of the depths of darkness, and out of the pits of hate, killers came to put out her light.
Yes.
But our presence here today is the best evidence because it still shines in our hearts and in the hearts of all of those who love freedom, black and white, red, yellow, and brown.
Yes, sir.
Before we have a word from Tony, I want to ask Reverend Eddie.
Thank you for the inspiration that was.
I hope you understand this is a little difficult moment for me to say much. I would like to thank Dr. Lowry, Mrs. Lowry, and all you beautiful marchers. The spirit of my mother, of Dr. King, and of every brave soul that laid down their life for freedom lives inside of us today. We will pick up their tracks on this pavement, this very pavement that they once marched, and go on to Montgomery, and go on further all across the nation to say we shall be free, and we shall overcome one day. Thank you.
We shall overcome.
One for having known her, one for having lived with us, and one for the sacrifice of her life.
Let the brother say. Let the brother everybody say. Everybody say. No more. I can't take no more. I can't take no more. I can't take no more. He's no good. Send him back to Hollywood. Get your sound. He's no good. Send him back to Hollywood. Reagan said, cut back. We said fight back. Reagan said, cut back. We said fight back. Get it up! That's right! We still fired up! Fired up!
The march appears to be gaining strength the closer it gets to the capital city. The march appears to
Back them up a little bit where it can be read. Not in front of the big one, Golden. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, they need to be all the way out in front.
No, behind the coalition.
That's good. What time did y'all get over there? About 11 o'clock. It took us an hour to get from one classroom to the other.
I got some sneakers, but a little tight bubble. They got to use shoe leather to deal with American human rights. Hey, what you doing? Get a picture of our shoes. Come on over there and look up and see what's happening out there in this land. We can't take no more.
Because we are freedom bound.
Because we are freedom bound.
You know those hills are mighty steep.
You know those hills are mighty steep.
They put blisters on my feet.
They put blisters on my feet.
So pick 'em up and put 'em down.
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 You know we are freedom bound.
Where you coming from? Albert Turner! Hey, where I make it? Where you been, Albert? Got your margin closed. Ain't gonna take it no more. I'm gonna sing, yes, the Spirit sets me. Turn me round, turn me round, turn me round. Keep on walking. Johnny over there. Johnny, after freedom. Turn me round, keep on walking, keep on
God has brought us safely the entire route, and we want to say thank you to the warm welcome that we receive here at St. Jude. Let's give St. Jude. Leon Hall, our march coordinator, is going to give us our instructions, but I'm just so glad to be here. I want us to bow our heads and thank God for bringing us safely through Pickens County, Greene County, Hale County,
in Lowndes County, and her schedule just wouldn't permit her to come back. But also Mayor Richard Arrington. Perspective, there's something wrong in America today. Not only the unemployment around black folks 16 to 18%, it's probably double that, because there are black folks unemployed that the statistics don't include anymore. There are black folks who've been down so long. Down don't bother them no more. And they're not looking for a job. They're tired of standing in line, and they're not counted in the statistics. They've lost faith in America. We're not counting anymore. We've got to challenge America to speak to the growing desperation of the unemployed. For if we don't speak to that growing desperation, the desperate are going to speak to America, and we're going to have social chaos in this country. I think there's one thing. Certainly not two. But there is one thing we can be grateful to him for. He has made it permissible to talk about redistribution of the wealth. Because for a while, you know, we were afraid to talk about redistributing the wealth because they call you a socialist or they call you a communist. I come to the place where I don't care what they call me. I know who I is. I know who I am. Don't call me a communist. It's all right. It's all right. I love the Lord. He heard my cry. I can't be no communist. I'm in that number whose robes have been washed in the blood of the Lamb, who walked along that sea of glass mingled with fire. I can't be no communist. Communism makes people servants of the state rather than the state servants of people. I reject communism, but I don't favor what we got neither. Something wrong with the system when our economists tell us that in order for our economy to be viable, we've got to have 4 to 5% unemployment. I deny the allegation, and we must defy the alligators. Something wrong with the system. We've got to relegate millions of people to permanent pockets of poverty. We've got to challenge the system, and we're marching from Carrollton to Selma to Montgomery to say it to America. Something wrong in America. We've come to be the moral catalyst to make something right in America. Expense of the poor, let them eat missiles. Something wrong in America. We've come to say, America, we want to help you set it right. There's something wrong in America when this administration is determined to weaken the Voting Rights Act. There is no single piece of legislation that has passed through Congress in our time that has made as distinct and more important contribution to the political development and maturity of this country than the Voting Rights Act. And now they would dare tear that down. This administration talks about extending it as it is. What that means, it leaves in the intent clause that we have to prove that when white folks drew these districts and have these at-large elections, that they intended to discriminate against black folks. Anybody who has to prove that ain't got sense enough to understand it after you prove it. We know what their intent was, but to prove it in a court of law puts the burden of proof on those least able to bear it, bogs us down in needless mountains of litigation, and denies the purpose for which the Voting Rights Act was born. No thank you, Reagan administration. We don't want that. Mr. Baker and Mr. Reagan, who want to extend it as it is, are so nice to us. They are like good white folks who would hang niggers from a low tree. We might elect black mayors. We might have representative government. We might show how government can be sensitive to all of God's children. And we're not going back. Make it plain, Mr. Reagan, we're not going back. We marched from Carrollton to Selma to Montgomery to make it plain. We're not going back. Come too far. This is a sacred journey. This is a sacred. We came by Viola Liuzzo's place where she was massacred and killed and murdered. Driving between Selma and Montgomery to help black folks take their place in the sun. We're not going back. This is a sacred journey. We've come too far, and we're not going to get to Montgomery and let some racist mayor and some crooked councilman send us down the back street. We're not going. Reminiscing about the good old days, counting the battles we won, not realizing that there's a difference between a battle and a war. Yeah, to get you to been there. But I wish you could have been there. I wish you could have seen the people. They were saying to us, my God, get no more. If we let a little racist mayor and thinks he can get elected on the back of black folks, how can we tell the nation we ain't gonna take it no more if we let that little mayor and his 5 councilmen send us down back streets, avoiding Dexter Avenue? We're too fired up. We ain't gonna take it no more. To do that, we want you to come and go with us from St. Jude to the Capitol. And if you want to, you go on in the prescribed route. But there are some of us. There are some of us. You see, what we have to understand is when they refuse to grant the route, and see, we ain't playing with that route. That's a sacred route. I'm talking about especially down there on Dexter. That's a sacred route. Our history is wrapped up there.
Yes, sir.
Our history is wrapped up there. They're ignoring our history. They're violating the integrity of our pilgrimage. They're trying to intimidate the pilgrims, and they're trying to deny the promise of our future. We ain't gonna take it no more. They refused it because the merchants objected. You heard Freddie say that 32 of the merchants say, y'all, come on. So then what motivated the 5 white council members? I'll tell you what motivated. They're going to teach the niggas that we ain't going to respect your pilgrimage to free Maggie and free Julia. We're not going to respect your pilgrimage to save the Voting Rights Act. And we got to stop your movement right here before it spreads across the nation. And we got news for them. We got news for them.
All right,
I ain't asking you to go. But if you can't go,
don't hinder me.
Don't hinder me. Just, I told the kids at Miles College the other night, and I'm through. They asked me, somebody asked me, said, can you? When I see the prisons of this country open up